Hey guys, this is DJ from PTA. Kind of want to go over this trade in Nrsn. This was my winner for the day. I didn't play much of anything just because I wasn't fully dedicated to the screens today. Just we're popping in kind of trades, but this one was a beautiful setup. It was one that I had to initially wait for and then kind of let it set up and fold the way that we wanted to. Um, One thing that I did like about this stock is that it had all the criterias. It was in an upward momentum, as you can see in the daily. One other thing we can look at is in the weekly, it had uptrend volume coming into today, as well as it was on everybody's radar. One of the reasons being is because it was up well over 300% today. At one point a little bit higher than that, but it was a great setup. And for those who made money on this trade, congrats. And this was my winner for today. So I'm going to kind of go over the trade, my initial thoughts on everything. Now, one of the good things about this trade is that they had an FDA approval. And for anybody who's been trading for a while, there's certain key words that you look for when it comes to news, FDA approval or some type of agreement or some type of contract assignment. Those are all positive things which makes people want to pile into the stock. So as we break this down, I want to kind of take a look at the hour. As you can see, it was straight out the gate, just taking off right out the gate. I personally waited for the pullback, and I didn't really get it until later in the day, later in the morning, I should say. So, you guys, I like to look at the 30-minute. There was entries off a pre-market high, but essentially, if you weren't there, like me, I didn't see it this morning until later on. It didn't hit my scanner until later. So I had to wait for that initial pullback. So one of the key entries you could have got in at was right here. Right off of this candle here, you had your nice reversal right off this candle into the break. And I mean, I watched it go from, I think when it hit my scanner, it was around 290 something, $3. I mean, just to let it watch go from $3 all the way up to 7 before we got some type of pullback. It takes patience to wait for those type of pullbacks to happen. So going back down to the 30, this is where a lot of people took a trade, because this initial candle went red and then it closed up green. And then the next candle over, which is, remember I told you guys I'd look for trades in that zone. Well, on a smaller time frame, it just wasn't there yet. So if you can look down in the smaller time frame, you can see that it came up, respected it, and then kind of washed this way. So what I did is I wait, and it's all timing. I waited for the new hour, which was on 11 o'clock, and it didn't hold, it didn't break, it didn't give me any sign. So I knew then that that wasn't our entry. So we waited to this time frame. So as you can look there, it was about 690. We had our reversal and then our confirmation. So I got a feel at about 698. I got a bad slippage. I was going to wait for the 701 break, but I saw them piling in, so I jumped in, and it was just a beautiful trade from there. Once I got in, we had this big, gigantic push, which wasn't sustainable, and then switched to the next candle. And let me zoom in into the 1 minute so you can really see the price action. So once it did this pullback here, it's about right there is where I entered. It shot up, did a little pullback here, shot up, pulled back, and then shot up again. This looked at sustainable at first, but then once this happened and this happened, it was game over. I luckily got a lot of shares off into the 805s, 807s. This is where I started loading out in the 8s. And I like to load out around whole numbers. So around the 8s, 805s, 807s is where I started getting it. I was hoping for another push out and then a push through the 820s and continue on to 9, which would have made it a fabulous day. But it's still nonetheless a good trade, a good solid in and out entry. But again, is waiting for the setup. So, a lot of people say, well, man, you waited a long time. Yeah, you when you start trading and you take this thing serious, you wait for your proper setup. You're just waiting for it to actually happen. So yes, it took a while. Unfortunately, it took quite a few hours because you figure, this was 10, 11 Eastern. We didn't get the break till after 12 noon. Realistically, it was right around 12:15, 12:16. So to be sitting at the desk from 9:30 to 12:16 and wait for the perfect trade, for some people they can do it and some can't. I knew the zones, so in between here, I went to go take care of a few things, waiting for it to build, and I just watched the stock movement. Um, Partially of it, I looked at it on my phone. Once it started getting around here, I started taking a real serious look, and I got this nice little push, consolidation, pull up, and then a nice little consolidation and a quick snap. That was a trade I had to take. So once he got into the trade, it took off, and then unfortunately the shorts just took back over and kind of pushed the stock back down. It still held. So this will be on watch tomorrow. This will be something I'll be looking at to see exactly how it may turn out overall. But to those who got in here and to those who got in here, they played a really good trade. I mean, yeah, I didn't get the bulk of the move, but I still took something off the table from it. So, and that's just the name of the game. You're not gonna always be there for every move, but you always can wait until the perfect setup set up for you, and then take advantage when that time comes. So, guys, if you have any questions or concerns, leave them in the comments. We try to answer as much as we can. And we do appreciate everyone who's in the Discord. Big shout out to Ace for the big calls and everything that he done on the SPY. But as I tell everyone in the training rooms, as far as our conference rooms and everything like that, I tell them to continue to stay studying and stay focused.